Hey everyone, Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you for the virtual gift voucher. You didn't leave your name, but whoever you are, a big thank you for the support. It is truly appreciated, thank you. But on to today. Today we're discussing the traitor Primarch Lorgar, as we debate just how he may react to the Emperor's ascension. General spoiler warning to begin, as we will be discussing events from across the Warhammer 40k universe, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. So Lorgar, Primarch of the Word Bearers, one-time most faithful son of the Emperor, and now dedicated to the Pantheon of Chaos. However, as we know, the situation when Lorgar left his father's embrace was a very different one from the one that we find ourselves in now. Indeed, the Emperor and Lorgar's relationship was always an interesting dichotomy, to say the least. The Emperor always denied he had any divinity, that he was no god. And in actuality, the entire Great Crusade was all about uniting humanity under the imperial truth, a belief in science above all else, to rid the human race of its dependency on religion. Yet his son Lorgar saw only a god, a being clearly the saviour of humanity, and one who clearly deserved to be venerated as such. The Emperor, even denying his divinity, gave Lorgar further evidence it must be so. And well, we know how this was to end, with Lorgar being chastised for his worship, and seeing his beloved perfect city Monarchia reduced to rubble beneath the boots of his brother, Rebute Gilliman, all but essentially pushing Lorgar to the embrace of the dark gods. However, as we said before, the Imperium now is a very, very different one to the one that Lorgar left. Gone is the Imperial truth, and replaced with the Imperial creed. The worship of the Emperor now rules the very fabric of humanity, and the Emperor himself has become the one thing he always denied: a god. So how will Lorgar, the most religious of all the Primarchs, react to all of this, let alone if he was confronted by his now ascended father? Well, in truth, Lorgar has actually already confronted the growing Imperial cult back during the days of the heresy, when he and his brother Angron were crusading through the realm of Ultramar. It's thanks to the audio drama The Revelation of the Word by David Annandale that we actually get to see the Primarch's reaction, seeing him reacting to the burgeoning Imperial creed based upon his own writing. And I definitely recommend checking this one out because it's a fascinating little piece. Because rather than a stereotypical villainous laugh, we're given a very real response by Lorgar. He actually reacts like most of his brothers do to it, with nothing more than a lot of confusion and even bewilderment, telling them that they're actually going against everything the Emperor himself believes in. It's a very bittersweet moment to think about. Spurned by a father for his worship, only then to find the people he now fights against essentially siding with him, or at least how he used to believe. Now, how Lorgar's mindset may have changed over 10,000 years, 10,000 years spent mostly in self-isolation and meditation, well, we can only as yet guess. As a strong psyker in his own right, Personally, I think he must have been aware of the growing presence of his father. Yet being aware of a presence within the Immaterium and being confronted with his father acting now upon the galaxy are two very different things. The Emperor has always been a big player within the Immaterium, but now he is making his move. And for all of Lorgar's devotion to chaos, I really feel if he were to encounter his father once again, albeit as a possessed saint, or even a possessed brother in Guilliman, it would really be a very different story. All the Chaos Primarchs, when once more encountering their father, in his various forms, simply can't ignore the ingrained love and awe they have always had for him. No matter how many years they may have spent forcing it away, like a dam before a flood, simply meeting him again causes that dam to crack and burst, and the Primarchs resort to being either conflicted and torn individuals, as we saw with Magnus, or fearful scolded children before a wrathful father, as we saw with Mortarion. But for Lorgar, would it be the same? Being confronted by a very vision of Godhood, a Godhood he always believed to be true. As much as it may stoke the fire of hatred, I also can't help but feel the sheer awe of it all would be overwhelming for the Horizon. This vision of righteous power, the purity of the light, it's something Lorgar once held in an adoration few other people could understand. Like all of the traitor Primarchs, he formed his allegiance to chaos away from his father. In fact, as far as I'm aware, he's never set eyes or conversed with his father since the events of Monarchia. There's no way it wouldn't be a very intense emotional moment for Lorgar in reuniting with his father, and I can't help but feel for all his rhetoric against it, there would be undoubted mixed emotions on his father's ascension, as seen by his confusion 10,000 years earlier at his first sightings of the Imperial cult. Now, am I talking of a Lorgar redemption? No. As much as we would love to see a traitor Primarch redemption, it's just not going to happen. Despite teases such as Guy Haley's hint at Mortarion redemption one day, I just can't see it happening. However, this wonder and awe I would expect to see from Lorgar, I just as much expect to see it quickly turn into hatred, because there's no way around it. There would absolutely be bitterness at seeing this now deified father. A father who coldly cast down Lorgar's greatest city, who humbled his entire legion, and turned him away to the path of chaos through the fault of only showing love and worship. A worship he now embraces, or at least from Lorgar's perspective. Let's not forget, this wouldn't be a reunion of a loving, caring father. Though he may speak of saving Lorgar, the Emperor is still now colder than ever, having to fight for any and every trace of humanity left. When he spoke of a possible Mortarion redemption, he wasn't speaking out of love for his child. He was speaking as a Primarch of the Imperium. And that is the Emperor who Lorgar despised the most. He despised him then, and he despises him still now. If the Emperor could somehow, some way bring back his caring fatherly nature, then perhaps it would be a different story. But I just don't think he can anymore, and as such, that same old hatred would be burning anew, even giving Lorgar more fire to fuel his crusade against the Imperium. But man, what a scene it would be. The Horizon, the Golden One, the son rumoured to be most physically akin to his father. There's just no way this moment wouldn't give you chills. Lorgar reuniting with the Emperor. Man, we have just got to see that one day. And I think we will. It's kind of strange in a way that I can kind of see Lorgar being the most likely to be redeemed, and also the least. That element of faith makes it so easy to go either way. However, one thing is for sure, it definitely feels like Lorgar is returning, sooner rather than later. The momentum of a Lorgar return has most definitely overtaken that of a Fulgrim arrival, and a Word Bearer crusade is going to come. Just what will be Lorgar's goal and intent? Well, that remains to be seen. But it's just got to involve the Imperial Creed and the Ecclesiarchy. Given Guilliman's interest in his brother's earlier writings, you've got to think this is going to be the major storyline going forward. And that is something I can't wait to discuss, because that could all just be leading to another Primarch return. And this one would be on the Loyalist side. So we'll just have to discuss that one later in the week. But as always guys, what do you think? How do you think Lorgar is going to react? Not only when he returns to the playing field, but when he reunites with his father, the ascended god of the Emperor of mankind. Could Lorgar be redeemed, or will it simply fire his fuels of hatred further? As always guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.